We're very thankful to be a part of moments like these, and let's do our best to show our attention and just show our appreciation for everything they've done for us. As we get started today, we have a junior here at the high school. Marcus Alio is going to be our MC for this event. We have various speakers and stuff, so let's make sure we give them all the respect that they need and deserve. I'm going to make sure everybody has seats, and we'll get started. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the 2025 Veterans Day ceremony at the Ridgway Area Middle High School. Today we honor all members, past and present, in our military. We also would like to welcome our community members and dignitaries who have come to remember with us. At this time, will you please rise for the singing of the national anthem by our high school choir led by Ms. Brenda Pierce. Thank you, Ms. Pierce and choir. Please be seated. At this time, the band will play an American tribute. At this time, we would like to acknowledge community visitors and ask them to introduce themselves to you.
Joseph Pontius, United States Marine Corps, Pennsylvania National Guard. J.R. Geithner, U.S. Army, Pennsylvania National Guard.
Robert Bowser, Pennsylvania Army National Guard.
Craig Tutton, U.S. Army, Pennsylvania National Guard.
Bob Foster, volunteer, Ridgway, Johnsburg, Wilcox Burial Detail.
Tom Fulham, United States Army.
Fred Peters, Air Force.
Doug Getzer, United States Navy.
Dr. Bill Fernand, Air Force.
Alan Streve, United States Navy.
Christine Lakovich, U.S. Air Force.
Andy Borowski, U.S. Army.
Jim Cavallini, Pennsylvania National Guard.
Matt Quisenberry, L County Commissioner.
Greg Bauer, Elk County Commissioner.
Todd Calderon, Elk County Sheriff, United States Air Force.
Thank you all for joining us today. We also have the Ridgway Burial Detail, who will be performing the flag folding ceremony at the end of the program. The Veterans Day Essay Contest has traditionally been open to Ridgway High School juniors who are to be commended for their quality responses to this assignment. This year's contest topic was as follows. Tell the story of a veteran or a loved one of a veteran that you know personally or researched. In the telling of this person's story, show how this person continued to live a heroic life following his or her military involvement. Focus on depicting the remarkable journey of this individual as they embrace heroism in their lives after military service, showcasing their resilience, courage, and commitment to family and/or community outreach. The American Legion representative, Mr. Fred Peters, will be presenting our winning writers with their awards after the reading of the essays. Third place winner is Ms. Dana Vinyl.
The man who taught me strength. Not all heroes wear capes, and they can wear uniforms too. My grandpa was one of those heroes. He rarely ever told me about his military experience, but from what I asked my dad, he was a runner who delivered important messages between different units and officers in his platoon. Though he didn't serve directly in combat, his service had a deep impact. The lessons he carried from his service stayed with him and influenced the people around him. My grandpa loved to fish more than anyone I know. Even today, I have yet to meet someone who loves to fish more than he did, and I'm certain I never will. He would stay in the waters for hours upon hours and only called it quits when it was too dark to see. His determination was one of his strongest traits, and it always showed. I truly believe that the same determination is what pushed him to join the Army in the first place. He never backed down from hard work, and whatever his mind set to, he did it with full effort. Whether it was fishing, working, or spending time with his family, my grandpa always gave everything he had. My grandpa has always been one of my biggest inspirations. Even though he's no longer with us, the example he set continues to motivate me every day. He taught me what it means to stay strong even when things get tough and to never give up on something that deeply matters to me. Looking back on the way he lived his life showed me the kind of person I want to be. He never needed recognition or attention to make a difference. He inspired people simply through his actions. Whether it was handing people money for the concession stands or telling stories to brighten their mood, when I face challenges, I often think about how he would handle them, with patience, hard work, and a purpose. He taught me that being strong doesn't always mean being loud or bold, but showing up, doing your best, and staying true to what's right. For the longest time, I wondered how this made him a hero. He didn't have medals to show off or stories of battles to tell, but as I got older, I understood that heroism comes in many different ways. His kind of heroism was quiet. It showed up in his patience, his determination, his strengths, and the examples he set for my family. When he taught me how to fish, I thought he was showing me a skill, but now I see he was teaching me something deeper. He was teaching me to take my time, pay attention to detail, and put my heart into everything I do. These moments were small moments, but had more meaning than I thought. My grandpa passed away in February of 2022. The military service that was held for him left a lasting impression on me. I'll never forget seeing the flag draped over his casket and hearing the 21-gun salute echo through the air. In that moment, I felt both sadness and pride. I felt pride because he had served his country with honor and because I got to call him my grandpa. Watching the ceremony made me realize just how much he had given to others, not only as a soldier, but as a father, a grandpa, and a man of purpose. The lessons my grandpa left behind continue to shape my life every day. He showed me what it means to live with meaning, to care deeply about what you do, and to work hard for what you believe in, and to always try to make a difference, no matter how small. He didn't talk about his life or the things he accomplished, but his actions spoke louder than words ever did. My grandpa lived each day with dedication, kindness, and quiet strength. To me, that makes him not just a hero, but one of the greatest examples of how to live a good and meaningful life.
The second place winner is Mr. Brennan Ruprecht.
What does it mean to be a hero? As I understand it, to be a hero is to keep fighting even when the weight of the world seems to be heavier than ever. To look for the light when surrounded by darkness. But most importantly, to have the willingness to sacrifice a piece of oneself for the benefit of others. My great-uncle, Terry Ginter, encapsulates heroism perfectly. He was like any other young man in the 70s, impulsive, naive, and trying to leave his mark on the world. He was an incredibly social man surrounded with a surplus amount of friends and was an extremely intelligent individual. He would spend his weekends partying without a care in the world. However, that would all change with the Vietnam War and the draft. He would not yet have been forced to report for duty to the Army, as his friend was farther down the list. Yet, when his friend received his draft notice, in an ultimate moment of loyalty, he decided to enlist early and accompany his friend to war. By November of 1970, my great-uncle was off to fight in the Vietnam War. This was a war few supported and none wanted. He was terrified. As a young man, he was asked to do the unthinkable, something we are taught is wrong from a young age: kill.
I don't know.
Vietnam changed him. When he arrived back on U.S. soldier, he was distant. He built his house secluded, not only hiding away from people, but from the horrific memories of his past. Only flickers of the person he once was shone through the darkness clouding his mind. He rarely spoke of his experiences in Vietnam, and when he did, his story sounded more like nightmares than somebody's life. Although he hardly talked of his time in war, he was far from ashamed of it. He flew a prisoner of war flag in honor of the soldiers who were captured and never found their way back home, and constantly used his woodworking skills to create flag holders for soldiers who passed away. His story might have been a dark one, and one he never wanted to relive, but he sacrificed his peace to keep the image of the brothers he made more alive. November of 1970 was when he made the decision to sacrifice his innocence to fight in a war he never asked to be a part of. He didn't do it for himself, he did it for his family, his country, his future, and for me. After the war, Terry got married, and in a constant state of paranoia, he made his wife learn to take apart and assemble a gun while blindfolded in the dark. The two never had any kids. Sometimes I can wonder if that can be credited to Vietnam and the fear of bringing a child into a world which can be so cruel and unfair. Although he never had kids of his own, he did have nieces and nephews, and though he suffered from PTSD, he made sure to be the best version of himself he could be for his family. He continued to be present and show unconditional love and support. Terry passed away in 2020, but his loyalty, dedication, pride, and courage live on in my family and me. His story shows that although heroism is found on the battlefield, it can also be seen in the years after.
first place winner is Mr. Preston Capiello.
My great-grandpa, Carmen Capiello, served in the United States Marine Corps during the Korean War. Though I never met him on the battlefield, his courage and strength have echoed through my family for generations. When he enlisted, he was a young man stepping into a world far from home, unsure of what awaited him on the other side of the ocean. The Korean War was brutal, bitter, with mountains and valleys that tested every ounce of a Marine's endurance. Yet my great-grandpa answered the call without hesitation. He carried not only his weapon and uniform, but a deep sense of duty to his country, his fellow Marines, and the people he loved back home. What makes my great-grandpa's story so powerful isn't just that he fought bravely in one of the harshest wars in history, but that he carried himself with quiet humility after returning home. He didn't talk much about what he went through, and when he did, it was never to boast about his actions. Instead, he spoke about the friends he fought beside, even the ones who never made it home. Those memories stayed with him for the rest of his life. A reminder of what true sacrifice means. My family often says that even though Carmen rarely shared the details of the war, you could see its mark in his eyes, not of sadness, but of strength. He had witnessed the worst of humanity and still chose to live with kindness and compassion. After the war, my great-grandpa built a life defined by the same discipline and devotion that made him a Marine. He worked hard, cared deeply for his family, and led by quiet example. My relatives remember him as strong but gentle, someone who didn't need to raise his voice to earn respect. To me, his life shows what it truly means to serve, not just in uniform, but in the way you live afterward. Though the Korean War is often called the Forgotten War, I will never forget my grandpa, Carmen Capiello. His legacy reminds me that heroism isn't always loud or celebrated. Sometimes it's found in the steady, humble strength of someone who lived it with courage, loved deeply, and left behind a family proud to carry his name.
Thank you, American Legion, Mr. Peters, Mr. Shout, and the essay winners. Often there are veterans among us that we do not even know. We have several that are our teachers right here in the school. Each year we provide you with the memory of one veteran in the form of a speech. This year our speaker will be Chief Ken Hinton. He served in the Air Force from 1987 to 1991 as a security force group. He separated from the Air Force in August of 1991 as an E-4 buck surgeon. He served during Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Now he is currently serving as the Chief of Police here at the Ridgway Police Department.
Thank you and good morning. Excuse me. I am Chief Ken Hinton, and I am a veteran of the United States Air Force, and I am honored to be here and be among the veterans that are here today and to talk to you about what it means to be a veteran. Thank you for having me this morning. I'm truly honored to be here and have the opportunity to speak to you on this Veterans Day. Those of us who don't know what Veterans Day is also known as Armistice Day, and the reason why it's on November 11th is that's when the treaty was signed on the 11th day of the 11th month at 1100 hours. I just want to say thank you to all the veterans, active service members, and their families. If there are any veterans or active service members in the audience today, could you please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like you to take a look around. These are the heroes that we honor today and thank them for their service. If you are a spouse or a child of a veteran or an active service member, could you also please stand? If you are a spouse, okay, I also want to thank the families of those who served. Their service is too often overlooked. Okay, but I assure you that they are just as worthy of our appreciation. Let's please give them a round of applause. To be clear, none of these family members or none of the veterans here who served would ask for our applause. Regardless of how or why they got into the military, they serve something larger than themselves, certainly larger than any recognition that we could give them. Behind every service member is a family who also serves by waiting, worrying, and keeping things going at home. While the service member is actually out fighting for his country or being deployed, we often forget about those families who are left behind. A speech about the military families show we understand the fact sacrifices that touches many lives. Talk about their children who miss a parent, the spouse who handles everything at the house and at home, and also all alone, and the parents who pray for their child's safe return. My own parents, my mom and dad, they both prayed for me when I was deployed during Desert Shield as well as Desert Storm. I don't know how they felt, but I know that I was not thinking of them because I was thinking of my country. Veterans are all around us. They are our neighbors, our teachers, our doctors, police officers, firefighters, and friends. It is amazing how many veterans keep serving their communities even after them leaving the military. Talk about the skills and values they bring to our towns and our cities and our own communities. The goal is to help everyone see that Veterans Day isn't just about the past, although it is. It's also about saying thank you. Thank you for the ways the veterans make our communities better today and for tomorrow. This speech helps provide notice and values to the veterans they meet every day. Veterans, they are the America's truest heroes. We often too much talk about heroes in sports, in movies, as actors, singers. But they, as a veteran, are selflessly left behind. They have left behind their families, their friends, and their loved ones when they were called upon to serve our great nation. A veteran is someone who served in the United States military, which is made up of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the United States Air Force, the United States Space Force, and the Coast Guard. Millions of Americans have served in the military to defend our country. It doesn't matter how or why they served, or why they got into the military, they serve something larger than themselves. Certainly larger than any recognition that can be bestowed upon them. Some ask, what is Veterans Day? It is a national holiday to honor people and served in the military in service to our great nation. It was created in 1954 and is celebrated every November 11th in honor of all the men and women who served in the military and sacrificed so much to protect our country and our freedoms. Some fought in war, some served during peacetime, and many were injured. This is a day we can say thank you to our veterans for what they did and sacrificed for each one of us. Sometimes the simplest thing to do is the most meaningful. When you meet a veteran or an active duty service member, don't be shy. Please approach them, shake their hand, and just simply say thank you for their service. Being a veteran means more than just serving in the military. It means being part of something larger than you could ever imagine. It means embodying the spirit of service, sacrifice, and dedication to the nation. Being a veteran means sacrifice. Veterans have often sacrificed their personal freedoms and well-being for the greater good of our country. Service. Veterans have served in various roles, combat, support, and their service has shaped the nation's character. Legacy. Veterans' service continues to impact this country's society, policies, culture, and values. Support. Veterans deserve support and recognition for their service in numerous ways. Just want to talk to you a little bit about the core values. The core values of every service member that are up here on this stage actually pledge allegiance to. The United States Air Force core values is integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. The Army core values is loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. The United States Navy and Marine Corps values is honor, courage, and commitment. The United States Space Force core values, character, connection, commitment, and courage. And the United States Coast Guard, their core values is honor, respect, and devotion to duty. These core values are not just guidelines. They are deeply rooted in the military's history and are an essential part for fostering a strong organizational culture. These values are deeply embedded within the military culture, and they serve us as a moral compass, ensuring personnel uphold the highest standards of professionalism and ethical behavior to the nation. These values mean everything to the military veteran. as they committed their lives while they served in defense of America. The veterans committed their lives and were willing to lay down their lives for their friends, their family, and the freedom and defense of this great nation. As the veterans take on these core values, please let us remember the families that have also taken on these core values. Just want to talk to you a little bit about the poppy seed. I'm sure we all have noticed when you go to Walmart or you go downtown, veterans are handing out the poppy. Well, poppy is a significant symbol for Veterans Day. It is a symbol representing remembrance, sacrifice, service, and legacy for those who served in our great nation's military. The red poppy became a symbol of sacrifice, which was worn by the Americans since World War I, honoring those who served and died for our country. It is reminiscent of the red poppies that bloomed on the battlefields of the northern France and Belgium, and it symbolized hope and renewal. The poppy was officially adopted by the American Legion in 1920 to memorialize soldiers who fought in wars. The poppy serves as a reminder of the freedoms protected by those who served. These traditions help keep the memory of veterans alive and honor their contributions to our nation. A beautiful saying is to a veteran is to remember, freedom has a price. A poppy is a tribute to the brave veterans who risked their lives in the past, present, and in the future so that we might have a future. I just want to say thank you for all the veterans in our country's history and those that didn't make it home, and also to the veterans in attendance today. Again, it has been truly an honor for me to be here this morning and have the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Finn. At this time, the chorus will sing United We Stand. Thank you, Ms. Pierce and the choir. Veterans come from many walks of life. The four main branches of the service include Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Marines. Today we honor all services. As our band plays the songs from these services, please rise if you are a veteran from this branch.
United States Navy. United States Army. United States Marine Corps. United States Air Force.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce. A constant symbol of our freedom is the flag. Fallen veteran families are honored with a folded flag their family members defended, sometimes with their life. At this time, the burial detail will demonstrate the folding of the American flag. The flag folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our country was originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue.
What is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserved, is someone who at one point in his life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of and up to and including their life. We are assembled here to pay tribute to the men and women who have served and are served in the United States Armed Forces on land, sea, and in the air, who are fighting and have fought in the defense of this country for the preservation of our way of life. These American defenders left schools, shops, farms to take up weapons against our foes. They left their peacetime pursuits with confidence in their hearts and assurances upon their lips. They are aware of the dangers before them, yet they responded without hesitation to the call of duty. Fighting under the flag of this nation, Americans went forth in defense of our nation. They are the guardians of freedom, justice, and equality among men and women. Before you is the flag of our nation. That flag is a symbol of all that is sacred to us. Look at it closely for a moment. The flag of the United States reflects what we are and what we hope to be. The white stripes symbolize purity of purpose in our freedom of thought, expression, and worship. These are the privileges guaranteed to all who live in our land. They are the rights we defend against all enemies who seek to crush the way of life that you and I cherish. Also in that flag we see the red stripes of courage. our willingness to die if necessary for the preservation of American ideals. Then there is the blue of tranquility, upon which the stars of our states are united to hold intact all that is truly ours, the desire for peace, prosperity, and happiness throughout our nation. We emphasize that interpretation of the flag of the United States, which you see carried proudly and guarded so carefully. We emphasize our tribute to the flag because we are assembled here to honor those who have served and are serving under that sacred symbol of our land. The custom of special folding is reserved for the United States flag alone. A properly proportioned flag will fold 13 times on the triangle, representing the 13 colonies. The folded flag is emblematic of the tri-cornered hat worn by the patriots of the American Revolution. When folded, no red or white stripe is to be evident, only the blue field with stars. The flag folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our country was originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue, containing the stars representing the states our veterans served in uniform. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in the eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks, who gave a portion of life for the defense of our country to obtain a peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is Him to whom we turn in time of peace and as time of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, or in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it's still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered the valley of the shadow of death, that he might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. Tenfold is a tribute to Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of the King of David, King Solomon, and the glories of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. 13th fold, and last, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, winning us our freedom, and for the comrades in the armed forces of the United States who fall, preserving us the rights and freedoms we enjoy today. On behalf of veterans everywhere, thank you for inviting us.
This concludes our Veterans Day tribute. Please remain seated for dismissal.
We could real quick give them one big more round of applause. thanks to Mrs. Gerber. We will have treats for you guys afterwards for